Hello and welcome everyone to ArcGIS and Google Earth Course 101. Today we're going to learn what inspires invention and history of science component of GIS and some of the applications. Many people on this planet is eager to gain more knowledge and understand our planet. The complex natural system born by the planet Earth continues to amaze humans, and many humans with inquisitive instinct have desired to learn about this complex system. GIS is one of the powerful tools to help us to understand our complex world. Just consists of two distinct disciplines, that is, geography and information system. Geography is a scientific study of geospatial factors and processors. Now, let's understand what is just mentioned. Fact and processes. Geospatial mapping and processes basically means a study of any particular location on the Earth's surface. Now, let's say in order to study a particular location on the Earth's surface, we need to find out the coordinate, that is the latitude and longitude of a particular location. So basically, geography identifies the location and the distribution of human and physical phenomena on the Earth's surface. Now let's understand information system. So here is a chart for the information system. So at first, let us understand that I can set up the information system basically is a combination of hardware and software and communication devices that come to people afterwards. So at first, let us understand hardware and software. Great is the thing which can be touched. Our same software cannot be touched. It is basically inside the hardware. So let's take an example of a form which is hardware, and the Android is the software which is inside the iPhone. Third is communication devices. Communication devices is used basically for communication as, for example, phone is used to communicate with friends, family members, or any people. And lastly comes to people. People are basically human beings and use the hardware and software, and then the hardware and software are used to send or receive information. Now let's understand the left-hand side jump in this elaborate hardware and software. They work on hardware and software is to contain electronic records. For example, let's say a memory card is used as a storage device and the music or the data stored in it is the electronic records. Similarly, in GIS, we used to store the geospatial data, that is the location and distribution of human and physical phenomena on the Earth's surface in the hard and soft. The work of electronic devices used to store this source file, this digital spatial data as the input. But the data is not processed, that is not arranged properly. As one example, when we download any friends, once the that ends and we record the electronic data that this process, the data is going to earlier that we receive the data in unprocessed form. So now when we inputted geospatial data, they basically arrange the data properly. Back in the day, from after processing the data, they generate the output of the data. The output data would be in the processed form that is arranged properly in the tabular form. If the user wants to read the data can be properly read. Also, the changes can be done if required. After all the three processors are done, they do documentation and indexing. One of them then the data which is stored in Brussels 1. Now, let's take a new director of the army which is not processed in order to process the data. Sadly, we need to check the process data so far that they need to go through the documentation pleaded for it. Basically, the check, they find that all the procedures are different. That is the process of inputting data, storing data, etc. In this way, they can process the data of the. Now, after processing and documentation is done, they come to indexing and indexing, for example. A book. A book contains index basically, that's about a page number of the content that they are searching for. Similar is the case of data. The data can in multiple tables and multiple outputs of data. So with the help of index, we can find the particular table that are searching for. Now let's talk about the standard definition of James. Jasmine's Geographical Information System. A geographical information system which works on spatial database, if a computer system for capturing, storing, grabbing, and analyzing and displaying geospatial data. Spatial database basically is the data that is the point line polygon exists on the Earth every day. Millions of positions are powered by GIS. For example, the data used to pinpoint the exact location of the new storm are the guidance that the local customer needs. Another example of this is used in the schools as it helps to make sure that there is no school for the children in 5 locations in charges allows us to make that decision using geography. Complex analysis becomes simple and decision becomes clear. Now, next comes the invention and history of Jane's system was made by the Federal Department of Forestry and the government of Yemen. The great inventor of jazz is Roger Tomlinson. He's also known as the father of jazz. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see that representing Galima across the district of Paris. This map was created in 1832. And next is the map of London depicting cholera. That using point on maps. They are 1969, both significant in the history of jazz because 2 major software companies, as Environmentalism Institute and Intergraph Corporation, was founded in U.S. Jack and later Benjamin was the founder of Jane Madlock was the founder of Integrays. Now, next comes the key component of areas. There are 5 key components: hardware, software, data, people, and methods. Plus, it's hard, but hardware is a computer system on which James operates. It consists of equipment and support devices that are equipped to capture store ruses, visualize the geographic information. And as for example, digitizer, scanner, GPS, receiver of the examples of input devices. Magnetic, that disk, SATM, SABIT are the example of storage devices. Bring to the display screens of the examples of output devices. Second comes the software. The software provides the function and tools needed to store, analyze, and display geographic information. Some of the common soft drinks are ideas. I give you my info. Geometrical Autodesk map. Some of the stuff to work on. Next up, computer. Some can work on network service based on environment. And some has both capability. Time is data. The data is captured or collected from various sources, such as map, the motivation, photography, satellite imagery, etc. And it's processed for analysis and presentation. What is people component of Genius includes on those individuals such as programmer, database managers, GIS, researcher, etc., who are making records, and also the individuals who are at the user and using. the service applications and tools. This is math counts. It requires the collection of station mead bags, and then this is my part. And then use the desert for planning and implementations. Each organization operates, yes, in well-designed plan and business rules. The last is applications of genes. Major areas of applications of genes can be grouped into 5 categories. While especially this management landscape and precious maps are used for utility managements like telecom and network services. Automated map, our facility management are frequently used in this area. Second is environmental and natural resource management. A satellite image I use for natural and environmental. Impact analysis. It's also used for detection of coal mines, wetlands mapping, etc. Earth in street network, light and medium scale maps are used for making propane transportation, planning, locating house and streets, etc. What is planning and engineering? Large and medium scale maths and engineering models are used mainly in civil engineering like drainage system, pipeline selection, river crossing, site selection, for bridges, etc. The last and the 5th application is LAM Information System Maxton. Get that online, portion maps. And station and indexes are used for digitalization, disaster management, and mitigation land disaster zone. Between mining, land use, and land changes, etc. So that's all. I hope you liked the video and see you in the next video.